So you want to be a Jedi? I'm just kidding. You want to set rallies like a Jedi. You want to be able to lead your team to victory, which is awesome. And that's what we're going to try to cover here. Hi, and welcome to Red Evony. I am Akayasha. You can call me Aka. Now, as you probably guessed, the topic of this video is how to be a good rally setter. And we can all agree that having a good rally setter, particularly in competitive situations like All-Stars or Chalons, is actually very important. But funnily enough, there isn't much material on it available online. And I know because I checked. I actually went on YouTube and searched for how to be a good rally setter. And hardly anything came up. I mean, there was one video on how to be a good rally joiner. And that was an interesting video. But pretty much nothing else. So this became a topic that I wanted to cover and make available for everyone. So what I do? Well, I put on my suit, okay? I put the martini down, and then I went deep into uncharted territories to find that secret information, the hidden files for being a good rally setter. And that eventually led me to having a chat with my very special guest. Now, in the Evony community, he's a big guy, okay? He's someone that you might probably have heard about once or twice. Oh, by the way, this is the Viper SRT 10. Okay, it's a really nice car. Anyway, that's just a bit of a side point. So, my special guest today is Viper 2302. See what I did there? Now, for a lot of you, this guy doesn't need any introduction. But for anyone that doesn't know who Viper is, this is Viper. He has won All-Stars, Chalons, Class of Civilization. Basically, anything that there is to win in this game, this guy has won it at least once. And he has a lot of experience being the rally setter for his team and leading them to victory. So I was able to sit down with Viper and get him to talk through the things that he considers important for someone to be a good rally setter in the game. So if you're interested in listening to that conversation, here we go. Hey, Viper, the
Hi,
man,
hi,
the big
Akra.
man
How
himself.
are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How you
Thank you
doing?
so much.
How
I'm
you
good.
doing? You good?
I'm good. I'm a little shy, but
Oh,
I'm good.
really? What sorry, what is there for you to be shy about? Like you post videos like,
I I
Hmm?
still get shy when someone compliments by saying, even if it's sarcastic, I still get a little shy. I'm not very good at really judging sarcasm, but if it's serious, of course, I get shy about it still. If it's sarcastic, I still get shy. So yeah, whenever
Okay,
someone
okay.
compliments, I feel a little shy.
All right, that's cool. Well, no sarcasm here, at least not yet.
Okay.
Okay. So, yes, everybody sees you as, someone that is at the top of the game. Okay. No sarcasm, no exaggeration. All right. And I think that's good. So, yes, welcome. Welcome to Red Ebony Viper.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, all right. So aside from obviously Chalons is going on, so you're busy with that. And for anyone that doesn't know, I actually played our alliance actually played against Vig in the last Chalons. Yes. So
Yeah, I actually noticed that in the recording. I mean,
yeah.
I was I had just come back, or I had just woken up from sleep. I just woken up from sleep, so I was in a trance when I was playing. But I actually saw that when I was looking back at the recording.
Yeah, exactly. You guys tried to rally me like three times. And I was just there
I
like
saw that too.
I was just there like, yeah, no, no, thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah.
There are some
Did you get
things.
solo?
Huh? I actually
Did
got
you?
rallied, but by the other alliance, the 3X guys.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And at that point,
Yeah.
at that point they set a rally on me and I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I have other things to do. I'm done. Yeah, just zero me, okay? So
Okay.
that's basically what it was. Yeah, I think there are a lot of things that I can happily continue my life without. And being rallied by Vig is probably one of them. So, so yes. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be rallied by Vig either, bro.
Yeah, well, your best friends can sometimes be very powerful enemies. Okay, okay. It's actually interesting that we're talking about the Chalons and things like that because that comes to the main topic of our discussion today, and it's about being the rally setter for your team or your alliance. Okay, and
Right. Yeah.
part of the reason why I suggested this topic, why we're covering it, is because there are a lot of elements of things that you can find online for Evony. So you can find things about how to build your keep, about how to develop your generals and your troops and T1 trap and all that kind of stuff. But then once you've done that and it's actually time for you to compete, and I noticed this particularly, in the last All Stars. You get a lot of people that, okay, they are not really sure what to do.
Right.
So I wanted to use this opportunity to tap into your expertise so that we can create something that anyone that is aspiring to become a rally setter, in All Stars or for the Alliance in Chalons can use that as, a sort of guide for them to get better at it. Aside from, there's really nothing else that offers that kind of, insights for those people.
Yeah. Okay. I think, like everything else in life, becoming a good rally setter is all about hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say hard work, what does hard work mean? It's like for me, what really helps me is knowing my team and knowing the enemies we are facing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that helps me with the strategy. And I think that's the biggest uh, job of a rally setter to set up the team in the right manner, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
anyone can say range in 3 2 1, range is up, range is ground in 3 2 1, ground is up. Like I mean maybe I can do it in 8 seconds, someone can do it in 9 seconds, someone can do it in 10 seconds, like setting a quad rally, right? I don't think that's like real there's any real skill required because in big matches you're gunslinging, right? You are just like doing it as fast as you can, you're finding targets, you can like I mean it helps if you're a good scout or in your team who's a good scout. All this helps, but I want to talk about something completely different, and that's the basic of setting good rallies, and that's actually researching your opponents and researching your team, right? Like in when I'm playing with Vic, I'm like, okay, 30B Cavs going up in 3 2 1. 30B C1 Cavs going up in 3 2 1. But if it's a 30B RSP, I will not set a Cav on a 30B RSP. I'll set siege or range, right? So researching what your team can do and researching what your opponents can do and adjusting accordingly. One is a long-term adjustment, right? Like basically where you set up your team, right? You said, okay, guys, like after we play our SP match, you think that we probably lack enough siege because we are all running out of siege, and so we need to build siege for the next month. Or you say, okay, we are not filling the rallies, so maybe we need march size, higher march size, and then you set up the team like say, okay, everyone increase the rally spot or everyone increase siege. Like now the optional, yes, you have that option, right? So
Mm-hmm.
knowing your team, knowing what you want to achieve at this moment, our focus, like internally Vic's focus, is to remain close to the top of the game, right? And pretty much try to win every battle there is. So that's how the team is set up. And as a rally setter and as a battlefield leader, you need to know your team and you need to know the opponent. Of course, in a random BOC, you cannot know the opponent, but like at least in our level you can have like three or four opponents you're going up against
Mm,
who will be a tough match, and you make strategies for every one of them.
mm,
This is like how I do it. For teams more in the mid ranks, I think Chalons and All Stars is where you have to prepare for this.
mm.
And for Chalons, I think this is very, very important. You need to know the other three teams who you're facing against, try to get video, try to get reports of them, identify the targets, right? Your team should know, like, don't find the K44 with 3,800 buffs on the wall. Find the K44 with 3,000% buffs on the wall to rally, right? Because when you're landing on the 3,800%, not getting much points, are you? So you need to know exactly who you're going to rally. Your team needs to know exactly who to find. And like even when you are setting and you are in that mood where like you're just going as fast as possible and you're not seeing who you're sitting on, the team should tell you, be able to tell you that, hey, this guy has very good buffs, don't rally him.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think that's pretty much the job of a rally setter.
Okay. All right. That's cool. So, okay, let me ask, like when you're actually in the battle, is there, I mean, we've talked about like a lot of the stuff that you talked about is stuff that we can do pre-battle. Okay, so checking up on on your opponents, coming up with a game plan, knowing which who to target, knowing the things that your team needs to work on and stuff like that. That's all stuff that you can do pre-game, and those are important things because I think it was Sun Tzu that said that pretty much all battles are won before they begin.
Yeah, Sanzu,
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
war.
So let me ask you, like when you are actually in the battle, what is the main job of the rally setter? Because I think this is something that a lot of people are not clear on. Because some people think that the rally setter is supposed to be the one finding the targets and finding people to rally and things like that and scouting and then telling everybody what to send. So let me ask you, what's the job of the rally setter?
If you ever want to be a good team, your job is to set rallies, maybe rein some people, maybe set on portals, and that's it. If you ever want to be a good team, that's all the setter should do. If the setter tries to do a lot of things, your team will never be anything worth it.
Okay.
And this is something I really, really believe. Like the setter needs to be focused 100%, right? Like if you see Vig, right? I rely a lot on Geek. I
Mhm,
rely a lot on Kara. I rely a lot on Rom. Like they actually call out that like if I am in between targets, they say you need to range him. So basically, they are the ones reading the reports.
mhm,
Like if I actually stop and start reading the reports and see like what does he have left, you're wasting 5 seconds in a battlefield at breakneck speed.
mhm,
A rally setter should not waste time for that. So
mhm,
you need to train your team. And again, I keep going back. I know what you're saying, that like what do you do in the battlefield, and
mhm,
I think in the battlefield you should just do like set rallies on the right targets based on your instinct and nothing else. But before that, you need to train your team that if you are doing anything wrong, because you are at such a speed that
mhm,
you're just relying on your instincts.
mhm,
Everyone else is reading reports, everyone else is scouting, right?
mhm,
So you need to be able to trust your team to tell you what to do at points.
mhm,
Like I'm not sure if you have seen a big video. Like there would be some points like I'll say, Kara, what do I set on him? And as a rally setter, don't have ego.
mhm,
Not with your team for sure. Like e- even being the setter for probably the best team in the game, I still unabashedly ask my team like, "Hey, what am I supposed to do? I'm not getting anywhere with this." Like if a rally splash, I just ask them what went wrong, and they read the report and tell me what went wrong. Again, there should like one thing you should be able to do is look at reins coming in
mhm,
and cancel the rally if needed. You should be able to see whether they have ported away or not.
mhm,
Cancel the rally if needed. And again, this is going back to the stuff I said before, that you need to know your team. You cannot set four rallies with a medium team because all your they will kill all your fillers on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know how many rallies your team can join, pull back from, and port. You cannot get your team killed in the first 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is pretty much it.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. And I think you it's good that you cleared up a lot of the stuff there. So the job of the rally setter is one, to be setting the rallies. Two, to be selecting the targets based on instinct and what you have. Three, to be observing the target, whether the target is porting, whether the target is getting reinforcements, how many reinforcements is it getting, if necessary, get people to scout, for reinforcements. And then obviously the normal stuff, sending the rallies out and, speeding up and all of those kind of things. Like cover everything there.
Yeah, and probably like if you face against a team which is heavily reigning, and the rain meta is so strong now, so you need to set some fakes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is like a very important quality in a setter, that you can be able to change tactics dynamically. You can play against a counter attacking team. You can play against a team which is heavily raining. Against
Mm-hmm.
a counter attacking team, you need to also catch them on the counter, and it's a completely different game.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to change that strategy. If it's a heavily raining team, you need to set fakes, like set one fake, set two fake, set the real. Something
Okay.
like this. Like you need to keep changing the strategy up
Okay. All right.
in the
All
middle of
right.
the battlefield.
Okay. That's good. That's good. So the next thing I want to ask you is obviously you're the rally setter for Vig. Okay. But I don't
One
presume.
of the rally setters.
Okay. One of the rally
The
setters for Vig.
primary rally setter, yeah.
Yeah.
The primary rally setter, yeah.
Primary rally setter. Yeah. But I want to assume that you didn't just wake up one day and all of a sudden you found yourself as the rally setter for Vig. Okay. So, what I want to ask you is how did you become the rally setter? How did you go from, just being a regular player, wherever you were, whether you were in Vig or in a different alliance, developing as you wanted to do, growing. And then how did you go from that to the point where you are now the primary rally setter for Vig?
Uh, well, I was in like a smallish server 478.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like that server was like not a great PvP server.
Mm-hmm.
So it was so bad that I think like till the last 6 months we couldn't even get people on call. Like people just didn't know what is Discord, or like they were not interested to be on call during battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wanted to play solo. So uh, I got the team together, and and told them that we need to get on call. And I was just like much bigger and with a much bigger rally cap than everyone else. That's why I was the rally setter there. But and I don't think there's any secret in that. Like I just had a much bigger rally hole than everyone else. It was like I was just way much ahead than everyone else in the server. In Vig, when I came, I had some reputation from All Stars. I think I was third in AS6, or I think I was third in AS6 or 7. I don't remember. So I had some, no, AS7, I was third, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some reputation, and then that was
Okay.
pretty much it. I don't think like I just came to Vig and started setting rallies, and of course I was like half the rally setter I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I believe I improved with every match, but yeah, and I had an amazing team back then who were very supportive. Yeah, that's how I became a rally setter. I don't think like yeah, I don't think there's anything more to it, to be honest.
Okay.
And in
Right.
most servers, like one guy is just is the rally setter. I don't know why, but because maybe it starts off with him having a bigger hall,
Mm-hmm.
war hall,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just more practice that makes him better than everyone else at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'm even the best rally setter in Vig now. I think Geek is very, very good. Yeah, I think I'm not the best setter in Vig now. It's just a legacy that continues.
That's actually a good point that you're making, because you're getting to the next question that I wanted to ask you. And that is, in your opinion, like, what kind of person do you think is best suited to be the rally setter? Because, like we said, in most teams, you have one, maybe two primary rally setter, you have maybe a secondary rally setter, and then maybe like a backup or something. But not everyone can be the rally setter. Okay. So my
I
question,
agree.
yeah. So my question is, what kind of person do you think is best suited to be rally setter? Is it just a simple matter of what they have in their keep?
No, I
Okay.
think communication, that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you must be able to communicate in a manner that the team understands you perfectly, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very important, right? Like, so when I am setting three rallies, I just say range is out and the team speeds it. I don't say like, so yeah, it's just like every step of the way that you should be able to communicate, because at the end of the day, the rally setter's voice is what, like, it's a very strange thing, and you'll notice it in some of Vic's battle, right? When I am setting a rally versus when someone else is setting a rally, the other rally is not getting filled because somehow subconsciously the team is just used to the setter's voice. And this also happened when I played as a second setter to Sing back in AS9. It was when Sing came first, I came second or something like that. I think it was AS9, but yeah, someone works as a secondary setter, the team just doesn't fill the secondary setter that well. So communication is very, very important, right? You should be able to communicate clearly, right? Like, the team should know that if you're not counting down, the team should know that you are going to call range is up and range is going to be up. You're going to tell them that when range is out, you're going to tell them, like, if someone needs to port, you're going to tell them port. If there's a strategy change, like sometimes you will see like someone gets hit and I say, okay, if you're 16B, go and take portals now. So
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to communicate fluently. Second, dynamic thinking. You should be able to change the outcome of a match by tweaking your strategy in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of the battle.
That's
if
a big
uh,
one.
if you go in with a, if you go in with a strategy and it's not working, you should be able to change it in the middle of the battle. We haven't really gone behind in recent
Mm-hmm.
times,
Mm-hmm.
but we have had a lot of matches where we were getting absolutely trashed, and then we came back to win. Maybe 6 or 7 months before. This is something Vic can do. Vic can really, really change the outcome of a match.
Okay.
That I think is very, very important.
Okay.
Third, speed. There is absolutely no replacement for speed. You have to be fast, right? You
Mm-hmm.
cannot be taking like 10 seconds between two rallies at the top place. Like, if you're talking about Chalons and all stars, no, 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 no. You cannot do 10 seconds rallies, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just can't, right?
Okay. So
Fourth is,
just let me ask you something very quickly, because this is something that a lot of people, I've heard this from a lot of people, and they're like, "Oh, you don't wait for the rally to get filled. You just send it." Is that how it works?
that's part of communication, right? I mean, if you ever see my all star videos, or even like any battlefield, like a COC finals video,
Mm-hmm.
we had an agreement to call in. So I hear in for 3 or 4 people and then I send it. There's
Okay.
no point of sending a solo as a rally. And
Mm-hmm.
that's again comes down to communication. Like, because sometimes Evony, it doesn't settle. So you have to wait for people saying in. Like when the
Yeah.
marching 0-0 becomes rallying.
Mm-hmm.
So when 3 or 4 people say it, you know that it's settled. The rally is settled.
Okay.
So that comes down to communication and how you set up the team.
Okay. That's actually very, very, very good. Okay, so we say communication. Communication is key. Is key. We say dynamic thinking and speed. Okay, so
And the fourth is leadership.
okay.
The
We,
team needs to respect you.
mhm.
If the team doesn't respect you, they will not like, at the end of the day, like be it an all-star, be it a Chalons, be
Mhm.
it COC, be it SVS. It's a team that wins. Like a lot of people think All Stars is an individual championship.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, one guy wins, but it's a team that wins.
Yeah.
No setter in this world, sorry, no setter in Evony can actually beat a better team. Just
Mm-hmm.
not gonna happen, right? It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how good you are. Setters are like probably like that's why like when someone says like, oh, you're the best setter, or when someone says like, let's make a list of best setters, that's bullshit. Because every setter is very like every top setter is very close to each other. Is
Mm-hmm.
the team that wins.
Mm-hmm.
So if the team is not going to play for you to win, you're not gonna win shit. Like I think in C2, to be honest, like in the last two also, what I felt was when I'm in a team, because I am liked in C2, like I have a lot of very, very close friends, the
Mm-hmm.
team really wants to win. And that really, really helps. So I would say leadership,
Okay.
or you can say leadership or cohesion, someone who
Mm.
can bring cohesion in the team. That is
Mm.
a very important quality.
Okay.
You have to be liked.
All right. So I think those are the four main qualities that we'll be looking for in the rally setter. So anyone that is interested in being a rally setter, be it for your alliance or be it all stars, these are the things that you need to work on. Okay, aside from the stuff in your keep and everything like that, these are the points that you need to focus on if you want to be a good rally setter. Okay, so that's cool. Now let me ask you, is there anything else that is required of being a good rally setter? And I'm going to come out and I'm going to ask you, is coining a requirement? I mean, I know that obviously you said that you were the biggest player in your previous alliance, and so you naturally became, the rally setter and things like that. But I want to ask you, do you think that it's a requirement that you have to have spent enough to be big enough for you to be the rally setter? Then the other thing is, we talked about how the rally setter can't do shit without people helping him out. So what kind of help are you looking for specifically? Okay. I want us to touch on those kind of things because particularly when you have a setting like All Stars, where in most cases you don't know the people that you're playing with, whoever has to be the rally setter, needs to be able to say, okay, player A, this is the stuff I need you to help me with. Player B, this is the stuff I need you to help me with. So yeah, I wanted us to touch on those topics.
You definitely have to be a coiner if you want to be all-star setter. There's
Okay.
just no two ways about it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of rally cap stuff like Bourbon, then from Senate, then the rally cap keep, then then the new stuff that has come out, then the Archer Tower General, all
Mm-hmm.
of those are hidden behind a paywall.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely need to have a like you definitely need to be a spender to get those. You can't be a like otherwise you're fighting a 80 million to 100 million war hall, which is just unfair.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Now your next question does if I have a very good setter at 80 million and a bad setter at 100 million, I
Mm-hmm.
will choose the very good setter. But
Mm-hmm.
at least he has to have 80 or 85 million, something that can do considerable damage. But
Okay.
then again, it's still a very uphill fight against a good setter at 100 million. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, coining is definitely one of the things. Like one of the best setters I have played with Karu. Actually, it doesn't set in All Star finals anymore because he just doesn't have the rally cap.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure if you're playing C3, you have heard about Karu. Karu is like really good, but he can't set because he doesn't have the rally cap anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Me and all are like completely geared for rally cap. Like we actually probably give up some buffs for rally cap. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
rally cap is very important, and rally cap is hidden behind the paywall. So you have to be a coiner, yes, or sadly.
Okay.
And
That's true.
just
Okay, can I ask you just while we're on that topic, because you mentioned getting a lot of stuff for you mentioned giving up buffs for rally cap. Do you also consider those generals that give rally capacity?
in all stars, yes, of course.
Okay. So let's say the one I remember is a general like I think Lysander. Alexander.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. So I
Alexander.
use like for ground, I don't, because ground you're basically just looking at clearing, so the rally cap doesn't matter that much for ground.
Okay.
89 million ground rally will clear everything. But yeah, Zaoyun and Lysander for Cavs,
Mhm.
Teach and Churchill for Siege, and
Okay.
Lewis and Wallenstein for range.
Okay.
That's
So
the
it's
combo.
something that that's your actual you actually use those generals.
In all stars, yes.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's something that I wanted us to touch on. Okay. So the other thing, what kind of help are you looking at from other players?
So basically, the three important roles you have is someone to scout, someone to call out portals if you're low on portals ever, someone to call out mines,
Okay.
and someone to call out when someone's getting rallied and they need reins, right? These
Okay.
are the important things you need. So you already know who are the people who are great at it.
Okay.
Again, it's very very easy in your own team when you're playing something like Chalons, because
Mhm.
we have like proper divided roles, right? We know like these guys, like Katara would look after this portal, Shax will look after this portal, Geek will solo and make them port. I will set rallies. Rom will call out what rallies to set. Like working mom and Lumi will be in charge of mine. So everyone has a role. Like
Mhm.
in your own team, you can set the roles accordingly. But in all stars, it's different to have that many people responsible for that roles. But
Mhm.
the most important things you already know who are good. In C6 and C5, you wouldn't know who are good with what. So that's something you will just have to find out with experience.
Okay. So the key things, I mean, before even when you know people or even when you don't, from what you said, the key things that you need to have someone that is dealing with scouts, right?
Yeah,
Okay. You need to have
finding
someone.
targets.
Yeah, you need to have someone that is dealing with scouts. You need to have someone that is finding targets. Okay. I'm just asking you this as a yes or no question. Do you have a particular way that you like people to tell you the targets that they found?
Just Lions 15B.
Okay. So you just want them to tell you what the alliance is and what power does it have?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, all right, that's fine because I know like when we're playing, it was like, okay, who are we hitting? And then someone says, oh, I found this keep. You need to hit it with calves, and then you're asking
No,
them
no,
why am I supposed to
no.
hit it with calves?
I am fast. I mean, there's no time to talk so much.
Hmm.
Not in All Stars. I'm just like, uh, yeah, I don't give that much time to talk about anything. Like, it's just like one rally after one rally after one rally. My aim is to set and send about 10 rallies a minute, so about
Hmm.
120 rallies an hour in the whole battlefield. So there is not much time to talk.
Hmm. Okay, so you just want it like straight up, like this the power and this the target, and then you take it from there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's good. This is will be helpful for people to know so that they know that okay, when I'm not supposed to be talking to you about what march do I send or stuff like that. Have all of those stuff decided beforehand with whoever is doing it so that they just tell you, okay, this the power, this is if you want them to tell you what to send it with, just tell them like, okay, this the power, send range, you say okay, and then you set the rally, so there's no discussion or anything like that. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good, that's good. So we okay, so that's somebody that is doing the scout. Then you want somebody that is looking, paying attention to the buildings, okay, and you want somebody that is paying attention to your teammates and anyone that is possibly getting rallied.
yeah, that's pretty much
Okay,
it.
okay. Is there any other one that I missed out?
No, that's pretty much
Okay,
it.
all right, that's cool, that's cool. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next point, the next part of the topic that I wanted us to come up with. And the harsh reality of it is that when you're in a situation like All Stars, for example, you have what is it, 4 teams. Not all teams are going to win. Okay. And not all teams can win to a large extent because of the rally setter. Okay. So I want to ask you, from your experience, what are some common mistakes that you have seen rally setters make? What do they do that ultimately, they can't push their team over the finish line?
This is a very tough question to answer. I've never really played with. I mean, I haven't played with like someone else setting for a long time. I think it's been
Mm.
almost five All Stars. I've been, always been the setter on my team. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
uh,
Let me put it. Let me frame it to you like this. Okay. What is it that you think that other rally setters aren't doing that they can't, or that they can't beat you guys?
I think some. I think some setters are just not natural setters.
Mm-hmm.
Like not everyone is supposed to be a natural setter,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, I
So
agree. That's why we talked about the what kind of person is best suited to be a rally setter. Yeah, I agree with that. Some people, it's just not their natural role. They are there because that's a circumstance. Maybe they have the biggest keep, like we talked about earlier, but it's not
yeah,
naturally for them to do.
yeah. So many teams confuse the biggest player as the setter always,
Mm-hmm.
and hence they end up without a natural setter.
Okay.
So that's one of the big issues.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay. All right. Now, this is the big one. Okay. For me, this is the main thing that I really wanted to ask you. If you
yeah.
were to train someone to become a good rally setter, what would you have them do? Let's say, you are the Jedi Master, okay? And you have this young Padawan that is here. How do you train them to become the next Darth Vader?
Oh, okay. So I'm training Anakin, not Luke.
Well, whichever one you want, okay, whichever one, that's fine. The point, what I just basically want to know, like, what would you get them to do? The force is strong with this one. You can see it. So how do you bring it out?
Okay. The first thing I will tell them is, e- Evony fame is not real.
Mhm,
Real fame lets you make money.
mhm,
Ebony fame makes you lose money. So Ebony fame is not real, because what happens is when you become a big setter and a big player, you get a little bit of praise from the community, and that really eats your head. And you just go on this ego trip where you're not talking nicely to your team. Your team is what is going to take you to places.
mhm,
100%, right, like there is no two ways about it. If your team doesn't back you, you're not going anywhere.
mhm,
So that's the most important tip, I would say, because if someone's a natural setter, they're going to do good. Like the setting part of it or the gameplay part of it doesn't need to be taught.
mhm, okay.
They are going to do good about it, right? Like, I mean, yeah, I will tell them that, like, check what your team is doing, right? Like whether you can arch a 30B, do some research on like what that alliance is like, know about every alliance. A lot of this I
Mhm,
will tell them, but overall there's not much regarding the gameplay part of it. I will teach them, like, I will just tell them that make sure you set up your team to help you in the right way to become a good setter. And
mhm,
because without your team's help, you're not going to be doing anything. And I would rather teach them the setting of the team part rather than any setting part,
okay.
because setting, I think, is very natural.
Mhm.
You can't teach it to someone.
Yeah, I think that whole gameplay process is probably part of, people already know that. So it's really more of a kind of just repetition, getting the muscle memory, making sure that
Yeah.
that you're comfortable with doing that at high speed, as we said, and things like that. Okay, let me ask you, right? Let me ask you, because I think this is key. The speed that we talked about. How do you train speed?
So what I used to do is like I used to time myself, and I
Mm-hmm.
would say like four unbubbled keeps on our server,
Mm-hmm.
and I would bookmark them, and I would like have to scroll between them, and I would keep setting on them, and so basically I would keep practicing until I got it down to some 7 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
basically
that's
like toggle between bookmarks, set a rally, toggle between bookmarks, set a rally, toggle between bookmarks, set a rally, four keeps.
okay.
Quad. That's how I practiced. That's
Okay.
but that also comes from muscle memory if you practice enough of being a rally setter.
Mm.
It's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal.
No, but that's good because you find that that's the part that a lot of people struggle with. You know, that's the part a lot of people struggle with. Like, I think the analytics side of it, coming up with a strategy and things like that. There are things that people can do, but they can't do it quickly enough when they need to. That concept, that speed is something that keeps on coming back.
Yeah, probably,
Mm.
probably, and yeah, like thinking at that speed.
Mm-hmm.
And when your brain's not working, having someone who can tell you what to do,
Mm-hmm.
that's very important.
Okay, that's great stuff. Okay, so I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted us to cover. Viperman, thank you very much for coming on the show. Really appreciate you being here
Thank you
and
so much for your time.
for, for the insights that you've laid down for us. And I think like the stuff that you've laid down for people here is going to be very helpful, for up and coming players. Okay. Might also put you in a bit of trouble because you might be making the competition stronger. But
And
that's a side point.
yeah,
Okay.
like playing for the team really, really motivates me. Like I love the
Hmm.
team, amazing people in Vig.
Hmm.
So that's really why I'm playing. I my spend is down from like what like 200K last year to 30K this year. My spend is down a lot. I don't really, but I love the team. That's why I'm playing. To be very honest.
Okay. So, is there any? Can you tell people where they can find you? What kind of stuff do you have? Feel free to plug all the stuff that you have, man.
Sure, man. No, just normal Discord. I don't really accept friend requests in the game, not because I don't want to, but because I am like I'm at 300 or 300s, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't really look at friend requests.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only reason. But you can always find me in Discord. I try to be as responsive as I can. But just one thing that like at the end of the day, it's just a normal guy playing behind a screen who has a real life job. Sometimes people get very nasty when I don't respond immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like again, like it's not like it's just like a normal guy who had a midlife crisis and spent a lot of money on a mobile game. That's all it is. There's nothing more to that. So this is like yeah, this is just so that's why like people have jobs. Sometimes I don't respond and people get nasty. So yeah,
Mm.
that's the only thing. But yeah, I mean, I'll try to be as responsive as I can. That's all I can say about that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So I'll have the link for your Discord, and I'll have the link to your YouTube channel. Because yes, Viper
Okay,
does have a YouTube
thank you
channel.
so much. No, that's not mine actually. It's shared between Vig and RSP.
Yeah, I'll still plug it for you.
Thank you so much. I
I
really
will still
appreciate
I
that.
will still plug it for you. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you
No
so much
problem.
for
No problem.
really appreciate that.
All right, guys. So that's everything that we have. I hope it was insightful, and I hope that this will help you level up your game to the next level where you can, be the rally setter and enjoy more victories under your belt. So thank you very much for listening. Aka and Viper signing out.